which has been pretty impressive. We're getting some big booms in downtown Cleveland right now, but they have way bigger booms happening down here in portions of Tuscarawas and Carroll counties, because this is where the most intense thunderstorm is, and it's also producing the most lightning at this point. This has been a pretty prolific lightning producer. So we were watching this entire complex that fired up in western Ohio, came through. We've had damage reported in Bucyrus. This whole thing continues to hold together as it's moving to the east. We've watched this little circulation on the north end of this line here that's coming through, and to me it looks like that is trying to hold together too. Although we do not have a tornado warning on that in Stark County, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning, and you can see there is some broad rotation possible there. Again, when we're talking about tornadoes, though, we want to know what's going on at the very bottom. And this far away from the radar, whether it's for the Pittsburgh radar or the Cleveland radar, it's really tough to see those lowest layers. So the National Weather Service has law enforcement officers that keep an eye on things too. And of course, they are letting everyone know, they're relaying that information back to where the folks in the National Weather Service office in Cleveland can keep an eye on it. You'll see the colors changed a little bit, and that's because the radar view changed, and so the closer radar on this view is the Weather Service office in Cleveland. But if I go back to the right, there you see we go back to the Pittsburgh Weather Service office, and we'll probably stick with this one because Tuscarawas and Carroll counties technically are covered by the National Weather Service office in Pittsburgh, so that's why the tornado warning is coming from there for Tuscarawas County. So our circulation in extreme northeastern portions of Tuscarawas County will be crossing the county line here in just a couple of minutes. So big heads up for Carroll County. That is coming your direction. Meanwhile, I mentioned what's going on here in Cleveland. We have inundating rainfall that is coming down. Very heavy rain falling in the city of Cleveland, Cuyahoga County, and then straight south on 77 into portions of Summit County. So Richfield and down into Fairlawn, north end of city of Akron, probably into Bath and Gent, over to Cuyahoga Falls, into Peninsula, and then eventually Macedonia and Twinsburg getting in on this heavy rain. The rain should start to let up out of Medina County, so Hinckley, you're going to start to see things letting up just a little bit here in just a couple minutes. But this is some pretty intense rain that is coming down. You can see all the lightning. We've had some really good rumbles of thunder here at the station. But I want to mention the rain rates, because this is where we start to get into troubles with ponding of water on the roads and whatnot. There have been a lot of people out and about today enjoying this glorious day where we made it well into the 70s with that beautiful southerly breeze. That all feeds into this, and when you throw these thunderstorms in, they become very efficient rain producers. So we have very intense rainfall that is coming down right now all along I-71 in Cuyahoga and Summit counties. We also have rain that is very heavy coming down on 271, also coming on 480 and the Turnpike. So we're probably going to have some big slowdowns there as folks are trying to navigate not only the very heavy rain and the visibility issues, but also the possibility of some localized ponding of water on the roadways. You can see that goes right down into Norton and Copley. This is going to cross over the border into portions of Cuyahoga Falls too. So very heavy rain expected to come down in that area as well. Let's get a bigger view here, and we'll come back out and take a look at our bigger picture with the radar. And you can see that the very heavy rain continues not only farther north, which actually it looks to me like this is more intense right now because of the lightning, and because the radar itself, the picture itself, is very crisp and defined. Farther to the south, the radar picture is not as defined. Mind you, we're farther from the radar, but we are also not seeing as much lightning as we are farther south. So we could actually see kind of a transfer taking place here, where things along the northern flank are going to start to fire up, although we have had a lot of rain that has been coming down, steadier, lighter rain throughout portions of Lake, Ashtabula, and Geauga counties. So the severe thunderstorm warnings continue farther south, even though the severe weather is out of Holmes County and out of Wayne County. So Worcester, you are severe clear at this point. Summit County, stay in things. It's not a severe storm that you are dealing with, but very heavy rain right now, a strong storm for sure. Very strong storm in Cuyahoga County. Medina, you are severe clear. Lorain, Huron, back to Norwalk and Milan, Mansfield, Ashland, you folks are all severe clear at this point. Everything is the I-77 corridor and points to the east where we have the biggest problems, and most specifically into Tuscarawas and Carroll counties, where this intense thunderstorm continues to move through from west to east at about 40 miles per hour or so, coming through Mineral City, about to cross the line into Carroll County here, into Rose, as it's moving at about 40 miles per hour or so. And as I mentioned before, this whole storm started well west of us, and we've been tracking this for the last 2 hours or so. And we've had occasional areas where we've had some tornado circulations that are at least showing up on the radar, and then you're throwing in very heavy rainfall with that. There's been some small hail reported from time to time, but right now the two areas that we're mostly concerned with, the one that has a tornado warning attached to it, is here in Mineral City in northeastern Tuscarawas County. That will then move eastward toward Carrollton through Rose. And then there's also the possibility of some severe weather, meaning high winds, whether they are straight line, or the possibility of a spin-up tornado in southeastern portions of Stark County, the city of Canton, Louisville, down into Minerva, East Sparta. This will continue to move east as well over towards Salem and Hanoverton and out of our viewing area. But we're right on the cusp here of this Tuscarawas and Carroll County line that we're just about to see this storm crossing over into portions of Carroll County. And this is some pretty tough areas to be able to do any kind of storm chasing. You know, this is the foothills of the Appalachians, and we have heavily forested areas as well. So these trees are going to start to really bend and possibly break. We may have some damage with that taking place. Yet another reason that you want to seek shelter. Interior is best, basement is best, then most interior place you have available to you if you do not have a basement. If you have a closet, cupboard, or some kind of a bathroom or a room that has no windows, it's in the middle of the house, that's your best bet there. So these circulations have been coming and going throughout the afternoon, and I'm not seeing anything that is particularly, you know, intense, but we do have that possibility here that these could drop a quick tornado, and we have been seeing that as a possibility, especially for areas farther to the west. I'm just checking with the National Weather Service right now, seeing if they've posted any updates there, and I haven't seen anything as of right now, so that is some good news. So Carrollton, you are going to be receiving a very hefty thunderstorm here momentarily. As a matter of fact, that will be coming through at 6:32 or so. Eckley at 6:37. We also have Fox at 6:45, and Circle Green, which is right here just southeast of Carrollton, that is out of Carroll County actually, that would be at 6:50. So this should roll through Carroll County fairly quickly since it's moving 40 miles per hour or so. And then we also have high wind possibilities, be they rotating or not, up here in Brown, and that will continue to move to the east as well through the northern portions of Carroll County, possibly clipping Minerva in extreme southeastern Stark County, and Louisville's got a little bit of wave that's coming through right now too. So you folks, you know, if you have a chance, let me know what's going on. At Betsy Kling on Twitter is where I've been kind of trying to keep up with as much as I can. So the northern flank here, right on the Stark County, Carroll County line, that will continue to move to the east through Minerva, 6:24 or so, so coming through very quickly. 6:30 in west, 6:36 in east. Isn't that an interesting one? And Summitville at 6:42 and 6:47 in Tea Garden, getting some of these interesting little towns and places there. But then we also, of course, have the possibility of the high winds coming through Tuscarawas County into Carroll County farther south. South of Mineral City, so coming out of New Philadelphia and into central portions of Carroll County over toward Leesville Lake and some of those beautiful areas as well. So in the control room, if you guys let me know, I'll just kind of keep rolling here. I'm not quite sure exactly what you want me to do. Okay, I'm just timing things out for everybody. So just to reiterate where our warnings and our watches are, we are technically still under a tornado watch here in our entire viewing area. That is expected to go through 7 or 8 o'clock, but that will likely be allowed to expire, and if not canceled, as this line continues to move from west to east. The most intense area right now of the line is in Tuscarawas and Carroll counties, but we still have a lot that's going on farther north, and that's where the heaviest rain is falling and where we're seeing the most lightning and thunder. The back edge of this line is just getting ready to approach I-77, so it's been kind of meandering along at 40 miles per hour or so. Areas west of I-77, you are severe clear. If you are west of 71, you're definitely severe clear. So have a beautiful evening. You may even start to see some peaks of sun on the western horizon here. I think things are going to start to clear out rather quickly. But if you are in Lake County, Geauga County, Ashtabula, and Trumbull counties, I know it's raining now at a pretty good clip. It's going to pick up as this thunderstorm moves in, and it's a pretty intense thunderstorm at this point with all of this lightning. Our live lightning counter is up to 201 strikes just in this view in the last 15 minutes. So we've been averaging anywhere from 150 to 250 in a 15-minute period. Of course, it's constantly rolling over, but certainly there has been quite a bit going on with that as these thunderstorms have been moving through. Sorry, just checking on. We just had a new severe thunderstorm warning issued for Cuyahoga County. There we go. This intense storm that we were just talking about a moment ago is now causing cause for a severe thunderstorm warning in southeastern portions of Cuyahoga County, southern Geauga County, northeastern Summit County, and northern Portage County. So we'll put the radar back on here and zoom in and track away, because this is the one that's got a lot of heavy rain to it, and the booms are pretty big. So if you have kids or pets that get very nervous with thunder, be prepared. It's going to get a little bit worse for you in areas like Chagrin Falls and Novelty over toward Auburn Township, Streetsboro, and then you head down toward the Kent area too, and Stowe. So very intense lightning and thunder happening right now out in Shaker Heights, down through Warrensville Heights into the Solon area. This is a live look. Frank, which direction are we looking here? East? Southeast. Okay, so we're looking southeast, and you can see how dense this rain is. It is very dark. Obviously, we've had a lot of problems on the roads with visibility issues, but then you throw in, intense rain, lightning, thunder, the whole shebang, and things get really amped up very quickly. So I know it looks very ominous here, but we are looking southeast toward where the heaviest of the rain is, so the darkest skies. And there you go. So there's the flats. So now we're looking south over the flats areas, and you can see some of the highways here rolling right along. So folks are still getting around, but we will have to get these thunderstorms out of here, and that's going to happen relatively quickly. I'm going to put a track on this. They are moving at about 40 miles per hour or so. So the leading edge of this pretty intense thunderstorm continues to move through southern portions of Geauga County, through Chagrin Falls to Auburn, and then eventually over toward Middlefield and Parkman. Chagrin Falls 623, South Russell at 625. If we could drop the banner, please. 634 for Auburn, 642 for Burton, and 648 for Middlefield, generally speaking. And that's this intense cluster that is sitting in southeastern sections of Cuyahoga County. We also have very heavy rain that is falling in extreme northern Summit County right now. Macedonia, Twinsburg, down into Hudson, Silver Lake. That then would cross over into Streetsboro, down to Kent, Ravenna as well. And I'm not seeing anything as far as, super high-speed winds or that kind of a problem. And I take that back. We do actually have a little bit of a wind signature that's now showing up. So you see this little defined bow right there. That's a sign that the wind is starting to speed up and pick up and move out. And that is going to continue to head straight east. So Twinsburg right into Streetsboro on 82, Route 82. It will continue to move east at a very good clip. I'd have to say that that's probably going to pick up in intensity as it moves over towards State Route 44. So Reminderville at 625, 629 for Aurora, Silo at 634, Manaway Center at 639, and then continuing to move farther to the east as well. But that is a pretty interesting sign. So where we had all of that lightning showing up on the radar side, on the velocity side, we now see that on the southern end of all that lightning, we have this wind surge that's going out. So where the wind surge goes out, the problem is there's usually a little eddy on the northern end of that, and that eddy just so happens to also be associated with an uptick in lightning. So that kind of gets the feels going a little bit for me. So I'm going to definitely put folks on note that if you're on 422 coming out of Cuyahoga County, going into southern Geauga County, you keep a heads up. And, you know, it may actually be good just to go ahead and get the family together and get everybody mobile, because they definitely will want to move. If things start to go squirrely on you, you're going to need to move real quick. 625 for Bentleyville, 631 in Bainbridge, 637 for Auburn, and 641 for South Newberry. There is not a tornado warning on this right now, but we definitely have that possibility of something starting to circulate here. And certainly we have some high-speed wind potential that's coming through Twinsburg right into the Streetsboro area. That is going to continue to move due east on 82. So 422 and 82 state routes, Cuyahoga and Geauga County, and then Summit and Portage counties. That is an area where we have some concern for the possibility of those high-speed winds coming through, and that could cause some damage too. Let's get a quick check on what's happening with our friends down in Tuscarawas and Carroll counties. There we go. Let's see if we still have our tornado warning that is in Carroll County at this point. Nope, it has been allowed to expire. So I'm going to go ahead and just say, you know, keep a heads up if you're in Carroll County, because that very strong storm continues to move through and things can get very squirrely. If you're in southeastern Cuyahoga County, southern Geauga County, keep a very close eye on what's happening and get ready to go, because it could happen here at a moment's notice if a tornado warning is issued. Nobody is going to judge if you go ahead and you jump and you take your safety precautions now until that storm comes through. We do have a lot of lightning and thunder on it, so you'll hear it picking up in intensity, and then it'll start to move out, and as it does so, that is your cue that you will then be severe clear. Once it moves through, we're good to go. It's just getting through this next hour and a half that it's going to take for all of this to continue to move to the east. That's where we have to really start to be patient. So I'm going to track the back edge of the rain just because I can do it a little bit different. I'm going to take the back edge of the rain over to the state line, and we're looking at about an hour and a half, so 8 o'clock. We initially said yesterday our window was 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. and it looks like that's going to hold true. So 6:39 for the back end of the rain coming through Shaker Heights, back end of the rain getting out into the Warren area by about 7:30 or so, and then continuing to move east from there. So that is definitely some good news as we continue just to kind of keep a very close eye on a very intense thunderstorm. And you know, it's great farther to the west. We have no problems going on there. In areas west of I-71, it is severe clear at this point. Let me get this thing out of here. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's move on, shall we? The bigger picture shows that we do have this line that is associated with a cold front that is part of a much bigger storm system that's swirling its way through the UP of Michigan. So these thunderstorms are not just here in northeast Ohio. They continue down into central Ohio too, and will continue to move through that I-70 corridor out toward the Pittsburgh area. But look at western Ohio, even clearing out. So on the western horizon, real low, you folks in Lorain and Points West are probably starting to see some sunshine. Hopefully that trend continues. It should be moving through at about the same clip as the thunderstorms. But as we track it in your National Designer hour-by-hour forecast, this cluster of storms will slowly but surely continue to just meander its way off to the east and hopefully not do anybody any more harm. By about 7 or 8 o'clock, it should be over toward the state line area. Behind that, we will start to see some clearing. Temperatures are going to be in the 60s for the evening. We'll have a bit of a brisk west-southwest wind that stays with us. 8 p.m. the temperatures continue cooling as we have mostly cloudy skies in the area. We'll be in the upper 50s and low 60s all the way through the midnight hour, and then continuing to move into the morning hours. You can see partly cloudy skies. We'll be in the low 50s, even maybe some upper 40s to start the day tomorrow. And then through much of the afternoon, it's going to be pretty uneventful for us. Noontime temperatures tomorrow expected to be around 60 with partly cloudy skies. We will stay partly cloudy through the afternoon as temperatures are going to top out tomorrow in the mid 60s. Quick peek at your Union Home Mortgage forecast, mid 60s for tomorrow and then low 60s on Friday as the rain finally gets out of here. That's going to leave us with a beautiful weekend with temperatures only in the 50s, granted, but we are still at least going to be seeing some milder, if not seasonable temperatures, and the threat of severe weather is finally getting out of here. We're keeping an eye on it. We'll see you back here at 7 o'clock. In the meantime, here's Lester with Nightly News.